What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you on Fisker. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out from the company itself, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So Friday, Fisker did have a pretty epic day. It did go up 15.89%. Hell of a lot of volatility though. So $1.94 was the high, $1.62 was the low. A ton of volume though. So 140.11 million shares being traded. 28.4 is the average. But despite the crazy volume, big money wasn't necessarily getting in on the long position. A lot of algorithmic trading, as you can kind of tell from the barcoding right here. These are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So you only see one that did occur on the 29th, and that was $117,000. So like I mentioned, just big money was trading it, not really getting in on the long position, with the exception of one. And you can tell that was a buy based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price. So not necessarily the best, but with 2023 concluded now, as far as the trading, you can kind of look back at some of the failures, the successes, and everything else. And based on Fisker's, trading, it did go down 75% from within 2023. So it didn't really have the best, but the news that did come out on the 29th that really gave it that nice boost up, that kind of gave some optimism. So it does show right here, Fisker provides December 2023 business update as deliveries grow over 300% from Q3 to 4. Very good stuff in my opinion. So it does show around 10,142 vehicles being produced in 2023 and around 4,700 vehicles being delivered. Ratio isn't necessarily the best, at least to my standards, but you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day as well. I'm not a financial advisor. It does go over some of the key updates, since November. So it says that the Fisker Ocean SUV has won 6 awards in 2023. Deliveries have started and commenced in the UK. Looks like deliveries are still ongoing within Canada, and it looks like they're expecting a lot of deliveries and whatever else in January 2024. So that might kind of rectify that ratio, but that is kind of extreme in my opinion. So I think this news is good. Is it amazing? It is what it is. They did hit their year-end target. But then again, is that really a big success? Because they started off in November 2022 saying that they're going to be producing 42,400 vehicles. They have cut that, then cut that, then cut that. I don't know. I wouldn't really consider that a very big success, especially considering their last cut was last month. But once again, take that how you see that. But despite, I think, a lot of the misses that has happened in 2023, a lot of retail investors are still very, very much optimistic about Fisker. Analysts, not so much. So these are some of the latest ratings that did come out from Fisker, last being 23 days ago, then 27. So last one was from Citi, a buy rating, a $4 price target. Prior to that was Goldman Sachs, a sell rating, $1 target. And Mark, who does have a 63% success rating, obviously is assuming that $1 is coming. And within the EV sector, 63% of a success rate is fairly positive, because you do have individuals such as Chris McNally, 44%, Jamie Perez, 26%, and then Adam Jonas. So when it comes down to Adam Jonas, oddly enough, he was seen as a extreme bear, with exception of Tesla. He's always been a very big fan of Tesla. But when a lot of the EVs started to really pull back throughout 2023, a lot of his predictions have come to very much accurate predictions. So who knows? He kind of earned that 50% success rate overall. Consensus wise, $3.94, which does represent a 125.14% upside. So analysts are kind of mixed in my opinion, still do and are kind of optimistic about Fisker, but them cutting production as much as they have, I don't know, not so much. Going over shorts, I'll break it down. Also on a side note, I'm going to kind of bring this up now, but it does show the outstanding share count being 350.56 million. As far as I'm under the impression, that is the most accurate share count for Fisker. I could be wrong. Let me know if that is incorrect, because that does influence what the short interest is. So on Friday, shorts did increase 1.17 million shares. 42.83% of the free float is being shorted. 91.74 million shares overall are being shorted, and cost to borrow average is 11.57%. So not necessarily the best, a little bit higher in comparison to the prior day. So on Thursday, through Interactive Broker short availability, does indicate that there's around 150,000 shares available to be shorted. So moving on, let's talk on options activity. So from Friday, once again, the last trading day in 2023, $3.38 million in calls being purchased versus $1.01 million in puts. Sentiment-wise, 51% of all the options being done that day was optimistic and bullish, so maybe people are anticipating a continuation of this nice rally. Of the call options that are being purchased, there is a very strong consensus that it is going to close above $2. And if that does happen, then you're going to see a lot of call options being exercised, meaning market makers are going to have to cover those. So you might see a nice bump up in the stock price, I guess, on Tuesday, because Monday is closed. Happy New Year on a side note. Hopefully 2024 is a hell of a lot better than 2023 based on Fisker and a lot of other stocks out there. But once again, this is kind of the call options that were purchased on Friday. Puts, there's a strong consensus that it's going to be below $1.50. So talking on technicals though, because both kind of make sense for that. With it closing at $1.75 on Friday, it is trading between this R2 and this R3. So $1.69 is going to be a very strong support that you'll want to watch for it to hold once again on Tuesday. Vice versa, $1.80 is going to be that next strong resistance, which on Friday it did kind of break above. So maybe Fisker could have a breakout coming sooner rather than later. Once again, going over shorts, just to cycle back to that for a second, with shorts increasing on a very green day on Friday, it does show that they were very much hesitant about Fisker being green, and clearly maybe anticipate a pullback. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But on Friday, like I said, Fisker did fairly good in comparison to a lot of other growth stocks. Friday was more of a pullback across the board because a lot of stocks, based on their technicals and whatever else, are considered overbought. So both RSI and stochastic are extremely high, even when it comes down to the broader indexes. So NASDAQ, S&P, whatever else, like all very high, with the exception of Fisker. So I think that also gave it room to go up because Fisker did not participate in the broader market rally. I think that's when a lot of negative news was coming out, a lot of repercussions as a result of that. So that did cause it to go down. Looking at stochastic though, you do see it at 32. So it's kind of considered still oversold, so complete opposite to the broader market. You see a starting point of a nice bullish sentiment, so black line above the red. Looking at momentum shows number of retail investors have been getting back into Fisker, looks like ever since December the 4th. So a lot of value investors have come. Also on Friday did transition from the lower to the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. So in reality, Fisker could potentially continue to trend up in my opinion. But the question is, how high, and is it justified? So ultimately, if we zoom out and looking at some of the larger fib levels, once again, if it's at $1.75, some very strong resistance points, aside from what I mentioned, is going to be $2.72 and then $4.03. So those are going to be the broader points to watch for if Fisker somehow does manage to continue to rally. But like I mentioned at the very beginning, I feel like with a lot of this algorithmic trading, like there's not a lot of long investors. If I saw like a lot of long investors getting in, I would more so be on the side that bigger and better things are coming to potentially maybe $2, $4. But with this, it's absolutely dismal. Like big money just found it advantageous to swing trade and whatever else. Just, I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Just quickly going over some of the ownership. I don't know if I've brought this up in previous Fisker videos. I've only started to cover Fisker within the last month, give or take. So let me know if there's anything that I am missing within my videos. But looking on the institutions, around 112.07 million is being held by the bigger players such as Vanguard, BlackRock, and whatever else. And then there is strategic entities, 19.21 million, and then other, meaning AKA retail, is about 86.92 million. So kind of evenly divided. So I think Fisker does have a lot of institutional ownership, and that's kind of a good thing. You never want it to be heavily weighted on retail, because then shorts can just manipulate it how you see fit. But then again, given the current ownership of this, like Fisker does have a lot of shorts, so 42.83%. So let me know your thoughts on Fisker. Do you think that potentially going into next week, there's going to be a nice continuation of this rally to maybe 2, 3, 4? What's your thoughts on that? Or do you think it's going to pull back into maybe the $1.50 range? Or what's your thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. Hopefully everyone has a amazing New Year's 2024. Like I said, bigger and better things hopefully is around the corner versus 2023. So let me know your thoughts. And one final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. Couple days left. Sign up for an account with Moo, throw $100 at it and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. One of the best deals. Take advantage of that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.